my sister's dream house. Now she's furious. My 27 female wife, 30 female, and I recently closed on our dream house. And it has the family torn. Years ago, my grandparents owned the family home, but when they died unexpectedly with a lot of medical debt and expenses, our family had to sell their house. It was heartbreaking and sad, and I decided as a small child that one day I would buy the house back. I shared those dreams with my sister. By the way, this comes from Cold Brilliant 4578 on the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So I met my wife when I was 18 and she was 21. Her parents owned a small rental that they allowed her to live in rent-free, just paying for the expenses. She invited me to live with her a year into our relationship, and we got married a year after that. Wow. So when OP was then 19, that is quick. That's a quick timeline. I told her about my dreams of owning my grandparents' house, and she fully supported me. We began putting large amounts of money back for a down payment in the hopes the house wouldn't go on the market before we could afford it. Are they gonna be able to afford it soon? Because they're 19 and 22 now.
How much do houses cost?
The houses are expensive. I don't think I'll ever be, I don't think
so either.
Yeah, are going to be able to afford a house, especially on with 2 incomes. That's not enough incomes for a house. Because we didn't pay rent and both had good jobs for our ages and the economy we lived in, we were able to put back a very large sum of money. My in-laws also offered us a sum of $75,000 for the down payment. You kind of buried the lead, OP. You were like, no, we both had a really good job and we were saving a lot of money. And then also my family lent us $75,000, but it was mostly our hard work that really got us over the finish line.
Mm-hmm. I had a small loan of $1 million.
My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
Just a small, really small loan. It was all me. It was mostly me. And in total, we put back about $185,000. Damn. About 20 years after my grandparents passed away, their house finally went on the market at a massive price. The house itself is huge with 6 bedrooms, a large lakefront estate, and several features including a pool and a small guest house.
Damn!
Where are they buying? Because $185,000 for that? It's got to be somewhere cheap. They got to be buying.
Well, that's just a down payment, right?
Oh,
just
yeah. For the down payment,
you pay like 10% of a house?
Well, the $75,000 was for the down payment, but we don't know the cost of the house yet. We knew that this house would have a huge price tag, and we skimped and budgeted for 9 years to afford my dream house. My sister was also house shopping at this time, but with a much smaller budget. Her and her husband have children, student debt, and rented for the past several years and were not able to put back money in the same way my wife and I were. When our grandparents' house went on the market, I sent the link to my sister and said that we were finally getting our grandparents' home back in the family. She was excited and said as much, and that was that. My wife and I moved forward, visiting with the owners and real estate agents, having it inspected and made an offer. They accepted, and we were absolutely over the moon. Throughout this whole process, my sister kept saying how excited she was to have the house back in the family and how nice it will be for her children to know this house and grow up in it like her and I did. Does she think that she's gonna be living in the house? Because she's like, oh, it's so nice that my kids are gonna be able to live in this house. It seems like she has some assumptions.
Seems like that might be what they're thinking.
Yeah. Our grandparents' house was the location of every birthday, holiday, gathering, and reunion. And my wife and I planned on making it that way again, which was why what my sister said didn't raise any red flags. Weird that she'd phrase it that way, but not concerning. I'd be concerned. I'd be like, what do you mean by that?
I mean, I would, at this point in the story, I would just say, yeah, like grow up and see things for like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and like all those holidays.
You're
you
like,
know?
yeah, it will be fun for them to visit.
Visit, good word.
And then in squint at her. We had a barbecue at my parents' house to celebrate the final closing of our house. During the dinner, my mother-in-law offered to kennel our dogs while we were in the stages of moving to keep things easier and them safe. And that was when my sister piped up.
Oh, here it comes.
She's been waiting. She's been sitting on this for ages. She asked why our dogs needed to be watched when the real issue was her kids. My wife asked what she meant, and she said that her kids will need more supervision than our dogs and that she was confused as to why we'd be so busy that our dogs needed watching. I'm so confused how she's so out of the loop here.
What's going on?
My conspiracy theory is that OP's sister thinks that OP bought the house for her. Like, I don't know how she got there, but that's what I think she thinks.
Like fully for her?
I guess so. I don't know what else she would be thinking.
That's crazy.
Because she would presumably know that she didn't buy the house. So, yeah, I don't know what she thinks here.
Let's see.
I told her I was the one confused. I didn't know she was helping us move, and that if her kids couldn't reliably be left to their own devices, then she absolutely did not need to help us pack. My sister proceeded to ask why my wife and I would be packing. I told her the obvious. We just closed on a house. For lengthy reasons, I'll leave out a lot of the back and forth, but here's the gist of it. My sister had it in her head that we were buying the house to either A, rent to own it out to her family, or B, transfer the title to her name and have her pay us back in time, which is what I said. And that is an absolute ridiculous assumption to make. When someone buys a house and you're like, oh yeah, you're just giving it to me, right?
Like what?
That's ridiculous.
I didn't want to believe you because I didn't think that was like even possible to think as a human being.
Yeah, but the sister did think it, and presumably she's a human being, unless maybe if you make the connection, the scientific method will prove. Yes, that is literally what she was thinking, despite us never discussing anything like that once. When I told her that was not happening, my sister threw a fit. She was pissed because this was her dream too, and that it wasn't fair that only one of us could live it. Girl, you should have bought the house.
Save up.
Yeah, it's not her fault that she got the money before you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's like if you were playing Monopoly and you had enough money to buy Boardwalk first.
It's just like...
That's just how it goes.
Somebody's buying the house that was in the family.
Yeah.
And so that's a good thing. You know?
Yeah, she wouldn't have enough money to buy it when it went on the market.
Yeah.
And if it was this nice of a house with like, a lot of room and stuff, it wouldn't have stayed on the market for that long.
Yeah, it's like, would you be more happy if the house
went to someone else?
Purchased?
Yeah.
And it was just like not in the family ever? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah. I don't know. OP's definitely not the a-hole right now.
Yeah, not the a-hole right now.
That since she had children, they deserve to grow up in the family home. And what did my wife and I even need all that space for? That's stupid. That's a stupid argument. My wife told her that it isn't the family home anymore. It wasn't left in a will. We purchased it and now it is our home. And we decide what we will do with it. My sister told my wife to shut up and that she had no say in this family decision. I mean, it's her house now, so.
Damn!
Not your house. I informed my sister that if she spoke to my wife that way again, we would not be having any kind of contact with her anymore. That she doesn't get to assume we're giving her a house and then throw a hissy fit when she's put in her place, and we left. My in-laws spoke to us on the matter a few times, but all told us we were in the right and that my sister was very out of line. I assumed everyone would agree, but if they did, I wouldn't be on this thread. I got texts and voicemails from my parents saying that we were out of line threatening my sister because OP said if you disrespect my wife, we will have to cut contact. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. They're taking the sister's side, and that's stupid. It seems like they all thought that this house was going to go back to the family.
Yeah.
They probably thought it would go back into the family like will at large. And OP's like, no, I bought this house. This is my house. You guys
Straight
all
up.
could have bought it. They told me they were very disappointed in me for taking my sister's dream from her and that I don't have kids, so I can't understand her want to provide them with a good home and childhood like she had. That it's only fair we set up a way to give her the house and that we could afford to find something else. Even my more distant relatives have said that it was cruel of us to take that from her.
Take what?
Yeah.
Something that wasn't possible? Something that's not even
Something that she
in the
couldn't
realm?
buy.
Like, sorry.
Yeah. You're too late.
Too late.
Yeah. And also, too, it was OP's dream first. OP literally said, I told my sister this was my dream. And she said, oh, that's my dream. Like, I would love that too.
Yeah.
OP called dibs. So those are the rules. Whoever calls dibs gets it first. And also whoever has the money to buy it gets it first. I'm honestly super shocked and taken aback. I've seen stories similar to this on Reddit, entitled people thinking they should get their relatives' houses, but I never expected to live it. This feels surreal, and I hate that we've started this new chapter out on such a sour note. Am I the a-hole for buying my sister's dream house? And there is an edit and a little update, but before we get into that, no, OP's not the a-hole.
No.
It would be ridiculous for anyone is expecting that OP should just give up this house.
I don't even think this needs a poll.
I don't even think it needs a poll. Actually, there is a poll that we could do. Do you go low or no contact with your family?
Ooh, drop them.
Yeah, maybe do low/no contact, or, keep them in your life. Something like that. I think I would go maybe low contact. If they continue to hound, then kind of switch up and consider that. Take that all into consideration, because you don't want your family home being tainted by these vibes, these bad vibes.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get into this edit. Wow, this blew up in such a short amount of time. Thank you for your support. And if this continues to be interesting and not blow over, I'll definitely update. Yes, this is unfortunately a real situation. In case anyone is curious, yes, the house is big, expensive, but it's severely outdated, which is why the size and features don't exactly match the price in today's housing market. Like, I don't think any owners after my grandparents renovated a single thing. Also, I am a woman, LOL. Update. I can't read and respond to all of these comments, but thank you. I will continue to update, but since posting yesterday morning and not much has happened, I will add a bit more of what's happened since the barbecue. I haven't responded to any messages my family have left. I honestly didn't think this was that big of a deal. But after scrolling through the comments for a while with my wife, we're both taking this much more seriously. I also think it's kind of messed up that we don't actually know, we're just pause real quick. We don't actually know if OP and her wife don't want kids. OP hasn't said that.
Yeah.
They just don't have kids. And it seems like maybe the family has some kind of like nuclear family idea of like heteronormativity towards this house.
Like,
and
they're clearly not going to have kids.
They're not going to have kids. They're women.
Or even if they do, how could they be raised by?
Yeah. And it feels like that. I'm just speculating, but that might be an element.
This is the place to speculate. That's why we're
if
here.
If we can't speculate, who can?
Who can?
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit more, though.
All right, let's take a pause in the story. I got to talk about something.
Talk about it.
I've been called out.
By who?
By one Miss Jaybird on YouTube. And do you know what they said about me?
Tell me what they said.
They said, and I quote, John needs to use ZocDoc for his yawning. Do we not do long streams, Sophia?
John's been known to have the occasional yawn. Is that a crime?
I'm actually not tired. Look how I feel so energetic.
Yeah.
I think my brain just needs more oxygen to be able to converse and speculate and ideate in these conversations that we have on the show.
I agree.
But I do think I need to take Miss Jaybird up. You know what we need to do, Sophia?
Give me.
We need to use ZocDoc.
Use it or lose your life.
ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and choose the right one for your needs and click instantly to book an appointment.
We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty. From mental health to dental health, eye care to skin care, and much more.
You can filter your doctors who take your insurance, who are located nearby, who are a good fit for any medical need that you might have, and who are highly rated by verified patients.
You can also see their actual appointment openings, choose a time that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit.
Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast! Lickety-split. Typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking, you can even score some same-day appointments. It's pretty great, right?
It's pretty amazing.
Listen, Sophia, I use ZocDoc, we use ZocDoc. You should freaking use it too, guys. Use ZocDoc.
So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/OKOP to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/OKOP, ZocDoc.com/OKOP. Let's get back into the show.
A security system isn't an option at this moment. The house needs too much work at this moment to have cameras and such set up. They'd be in the way if everything else was being done. We'd have to have them removed for several of the things we need done, and we don't even have internet access at the property at this moment. I will be scheduling meetings with some companies to start coming out and working on the property before we get to the cosmetics. However, we do have someone coming out to change the locks on Thursday.
Does Opie think that they're gonna break in? I think
that probably a lot of people on Reddit, because the usual advice they give What do you think, John?
Hey, well,
John,
let me tell you.
John
see?
thinks no contact, never talk to them. John, restraining order. Wow, John.
Definitely, yeah, get a restraining order.
But I think that a lot of times people on Reddit will say, like, make sure you change the locks and stuff. And so that's advice that they're giving. And so OP is probably saying, I don't know if we need that.
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, if you can't have it, nobody can.
Nobody
Burn
can.
it down.
Burn it down. Insurance. Yeah. By the way, you can join us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Just tap our profile. But there's a tiny bit left of this story, so let's finish it off. We won't be moving into the house for a bit since it needs so much work before we're comfortable. I've had a few people suggest the story is fake because the price of the house doesn't match the features. The house needs a lot of work. It hasn't been updated or worked on in years, and the price reflects that. Also, we are lucky to live in a state where property values haven't skyrocketed too bad. And that, my friends, is the end of this story.
Sheesh.
Oh, John, you crack me up. But I think OP is not the a-hole. Don't give this house to your parents. No. I mean, sorry, to your sister.
Yeah.
She doesn't deserve it. She can go find another house that she can afford. And that's my thoughts on this. But
Well, it's a pretty crazy drop, though.
what?
The packing bit.
Yeah,
Well,
they were just packing.
Why
She
do
was
you
like,
need
"Why?"
help
Yeah.
loading? We need more help than you do. It's like, oh, whoa.
Wait a minute. Walk that back. No, she did really just assume so hard.
Yeah. That's so crazy to assume that hard with no conversation.
No one's
None.
told you anything. And you're just like, wait a minute. You mean I'm not getting the house?
I guess like maybe the terms like grow up in.
Yeah.
They might have thought, okay, that's clear enough. But it's
Yeah.
like, okay.
They're like, that
Maybe
my
like
kids
this
are gonna
is
grow
where
up in. That's my-
Joey will sleep.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. And it's like, okay, pump the brakes.
Weird sister. But that's the end of the story. And we have another story. But we also have a guest. And it's not Anthony. It's Steph. Hello. Yes, you may.
Oh my gosh, I feel
You look so cute.
powerful.
I love your outfit.
Thank you.
You looking beautiful. Looking gorgeous.
Hello. Greetings, Earthlings.
There we go. Well, welcome. You're just in time for another story.
Yay.
So let's get into it.
All right.
Jump right in. I refuse to give my sister a reference for her job because I hate her. That's a good enough reason, I guess. My sister Claudia and I are not close. Very low contact, always family related. Around 14, her, and 17, me. She stole my boyfriend, 16 male, by giving up more physically than I was willing to. That's yikes. She was 14?
Excuse me?
Ugh. After that kind of betrayal, I've never trusted her fully and have kept my partners distant from her. I'd like to be clear that it's not just this event alone, but this was the major event that made me pull back from her. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Job Reference on the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So, this awful behavior has continued throughout Claudia's life. She's stolen the boyfriends of several, 3 that I know of her now ex-friends, and always seem to get bored as soon as the guy leaves his partner for her. Claudia is not a very nice person, but she is superficially charming and makes a good first impression. Twice now at work, Claudia has seduced her married supervisor. Oh my goodness, she has a track record. This has happened with 2 different people at 2 different jobs and caused an absolute crap show that ended up in the guys resigning. I have no idea what happened to their home situations, but it couldn't have been good. Claudia thrives on drama and absolutely loves it. I've suggested counseling, but was shot down, and she said, I'd have to have a problem to need counseling. Claudia likes the chase more than anything else, and there's nothing wrong with that. She justifies her behavior with, anyone that didn't want to cheat wouldn't cheat. You can see why we don't talk much. Yikes. She sounds like a great person.
Yeah. I hope she doesn't come around.
OP's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. You better not come around these parts with your superficial charm. I don't trust her, clearly. My friend Brennan, who I met through a previous job, is now in the same industry as Claudia. And Claudia recently found that Brennan's company is hiring. Oh no. Brennan is sort of HR for the small company Claudia is interested in, and Claudia has applied. Brennan sent an email. I should note it was from his personal address, not his company account, asking if I could vouch for Claudia. And I'm stuck now. Claudia can absolutely do this job. She will be great at it, except for the fact that she will probably ruin someone's marriage in the process. The fact that she's done this at 2 out of 3 places she's worked long-term since college is uncomfortable. And there are 6 times I personally know of that she's done this. Claudia is currently single. She's single and on the prowl.
Get it, girl.
Oh no. I don't know what to do, but I'm leaning to not replying to the email and calling Brennan to give my honest opinion that she would be an excellent technical fit, but a disaster socially. That way, it's not in writing and Brennan can still be told. But I'm directly sabotaging my sister's prospects if I do that. But again, I'm directly sabotaging Brennan if I don't tell him what Claudia is liable to do. Claudia will pass any screen they give her. She's charming and has no record of any kind. There is an update and some comments, but OP asks the question of, would I be the a-hole if I told Brennan my sister would be a great technical fit, but would be a social disaster?
Sounds like honesty to me.
Ugh, like you're not lying.
You're not lying. And
Yeah.
she's saying she's a good employee. Like, if you want to hire her, then go for it.
She's like, she's great at her job, but she's a lot of drama.
I feel like it's just a disclaimer.
Yeah, I think because this is her friend and not just like a random company that's reaching out, and also she doesn't really have a close relationship with Claudia.
Yeah.
I think the not doing it in writing, but talking, like calling up her friend and saying this, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's not super out of pocket.
No. What?
I just like made eye contact with him and I was like, whoa.
Oh, in the mirror?
Yeah.
The mirror is freaky. What were you saying?
Yeah, no, I feel like she's not being totally an a-hole.
No, I think definitely tell the truth because it's your friend. Also, if she didn't say anything, if she said, oh no, my sister's a great fit, and then months down the line, all of this stuff blows up at
Right.
work, Brennan comes back to her and is like, why did you ever recommend her?
Yeah.
And then it's kind of on her and it maybe strains their friendship.
Yeah, I don't know. This one, I mean, it is a tough one because it's also like, well, at the end of the day, like, if she wants to flirt with the people, like, and they fall for it.
It is on them as much as her. But I do think that, when hiring people, you do hire in part for, certain jobs hire for, like, are they able to work with people well?
Oh, for sure. I feel like that's most jobs now. It's just like, can you like see yourself hanging out with
Collaborate
this person?
with people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this like, it's like, I think people make a lot of jokes about personality hires, but I think a lot of jobs are personality based. It's like looking at like, do you meet the qualifications?
I'm a personality hire right now. Hey, that's why I'm here.
This is why you're here. This is so true. But it's also like, do we like you enough? Are we going to be able to work with you effectively?
Yeah.
I think OP would not be the a-hole if she told the truth.
Ooh, people out here saying she thinks she has a personality disorder. Honestly, maybe.
Perhaps. But I think the fact that she started this at 14, I am a little worried about their home life. I'm like, what?
Oh,
what is
100%.
going on?
Yeah, there's definitely like something.
Something's underneath the surface.
Yeah.
But there are some relevant comments from OP. OP says, my sister delights in ruining relationships. She gets satisfaction from it. Ew. When she stole my boyfriend, he was 16, by the way, not 17 plus. So go on with your outrageous scenarios, LOL. She told me she just wanted to see if she could do it. She likes the thrill of chasing someone that already has someone and winning over their current partner. She has said all of this to me over the years. I find this fundamentally not okay. The way she seems to see other people and their relationships as expendable is really creepy to me. I personally think she might be a narcissist.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. There's lots wrong there. Yup. And I've tried. I've done everything to try and get her help, counseling, etc. And it's all met with nothing or even mocking and derision. I don't know about abuse, but it's always possible. But at the end of the day, she's a 30-year-old woman that attempts to F up people's lives for fun. Trying to help someone being mean to you on a consistent base is something I'm not willing to do. She's told me that she basically sees people as ants compared to her. I think she might be a narcissist.
Yeah, it's
As actual words, peons to be conquered. That's wild. That is an intense way to describe the people around you. It leaves you feeling icky to know someone thinks of you that way. The wanted to see if she could do it is something she says quite frequently, by the way, usually when doing something socially inappropriate. I don't think she's spicy sleep obsessed. I think she sees spicy sleep as a way to get power and feelings of being triumphant. She never keeps her trophies, people she's wrested from relationships, longer than a month. It's boring once I've won, she says. I've never had anything to do with my ex again after that, TBH. He was way worse than my sister. But my sister is related to me. I thought I could expect her loyalty and learned at a young age, family is sometimes only innate. And there is an update to finish this story off. But what do you think OP does here? Because I don't think OP, I think we all kind of agree OP is not the a-hole if she tells the truth. But I think maybe no contact with his sister.
Yeah, I feel like maybe this is like a situation where you have to set really clear boundaries. You know, like this is what I can tolerate and like that's all.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's completely valid. And maybe this person needs to be in therapy.
Yeah, but there's only so many times that OP can say you need to be in therapy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I feel like this is where like boundaries, like I won't tolerate this.
Yeah, it's like you're in therapy or we cannot continue a relationship because you are actively making my life much harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big yikes.
But there's an update. So let's see if OP gave that recommendation letter. Or that reference. I called Brennan. It had been nearly a day since his email when I posted. Turns out the reason he reached out to me is because Claudia passed her screening/reference check with the company, but Brennan had final say because he was going to be working with her directly on some policy stuff, and so he had to like who they were hiring. Brennan had been hearing rumors going around about Claudia as well and wanted to reach out to me to ask me if I'd be honest with them and tell him if they were true, and if working with Claudia was going to be a nightmare for him.
How did the word get out?
If people have been spreading rumors about her from other jobs,
Yeah.
don't hire her.
No.
Don't hire her. This is where my tightrope walk began. I said that I couldn't discuss any rumors relating to my sister with a potential new workplace as that would be inappropriate. I said that I refused to give a reference on her as I've never worked with her and she is family. I said I hoped he understood. Okay, so OP didn't go the route of telling the full truth, just kind of said, I'm not going to give a reference.
That's kind of weird though. Like,
What do you think she should have done?
I think OP is so far on the rule following spectrum that like they won't sort of stoop to any kind of level to talk badly about their sister. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like you gotta warn these people if
I
you
don't know.
know.
I think this is her friend. Brennan is her friend. I feel like she should warn him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you don't need to like walk some high road here. Like you know the truth.
And the tea is out. That he got the tea somehow. So.
I think the fact that other people are talking about it means that you can be like, yeah, I have also experienced those, things before, but I do think she is a great technical fit.
Right.
I think she should have given a little bit more information.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit more, so maybe she tells him eventually.
And then it's not like you have to say don't hire her.
No.
All you have to do is tell what you know.
Yeah, just say she's a great technical fit. I think she'd be really good at the job. However, she's had some past experiences where she's created drama at the workplace.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that would have been very like respectful and true.
And also, she doesn't have a good relationship with her sister, so it's not like she's like,
Like saving anything.
Yeah. Brennan thanked me and said he wouldn't be hiring her after my refusal. I panicked a bit, realizing I may have just cost her this job. OP definitely
OP.
didn't. Literally didn't even give something that she could she could have made it so much worse, and she didn't.
Also, Brennan already was like obviously thinking like, I don't think I'm gonna hire this person, so this was just the confirmation he needed.
Yeah. Other people had already talked to him about her. OP was just like a, nail in the coffin, I guess, but like not even really, because she didn't say anything. He said it wasn't my refusal personally, but the rumors flying around were too much of a risk when he has a candidate with 90% of Claudia's abilities/experience and none of the potential drama. So he has another option anyway. Brennan said if I'd been willing to vouch for Claudia, or if either of the other two personal contacts he had panned out to reply about her, he might have taken the leap, but everyone declined/refused, and that was a pattern to him.
Well, there you go. It wasn't even like her only.
No, he reached out to multiple people and they were like, I'm not gonna comment on Claudia. That's a red flag, yeah. Brennan then freaked out a little that he might have said too much, so both of us were just sort of in an anxiety hoedown for a bit while awkwardly comforting the other. They're like, no, you didn't say anything wrong. And he's like, no, you didn't say anything wrong.
I said too much.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. And she's like, no, I shouldn't have said that. It's fine. The end of the call was super cringy and embarrassing, and I imagine it will be a while before we speak again. So it appears my sister's drama has cost her a job offer, but I now feel incredibly guilty because I could have been the one to stand up for her and make her get the job. I didn't. I haven't heard from my sister about it, and I doubt I will. Brennan was not the one to interview her or reject her. He met her on one group call, so I don't think she will even consider him or me as the reason for this. Thanks, everyone, for your help in dealing with this.
Yeah, like, what's she worried about? Like, she doesn't even know that they talk.
I was like, OP, why are you stressing? Like, it's done. You're good, girl. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. Breathe,
OP's like,
deep
I
breaths.
can't do anything to hurt anyone, even though this person has directly hurt me multiple times.
Yeah.
And I know she has this pattern of behavior. Yeah, OP literally didn't even do what we said. Like, literally took a step back and, just said, oh, I can't give you a response.
And also, like, the sister would never know that she never gave the reference. So.
Yeah.
Like, she should feel so good that she did the right thing and it worked out the way she wanted. Like, this is a win-win-win.
Like, I'm a little bit confused. Did she want her sister to work there?
Yeah, like
I don't know, because she knows that she would cause drama. It seems like she's just having this guilt.
No, I think she's just guilty. And I get that.
Yeah.
That's valid.
Yeah, it seems like she's a little bit of a people pleaser. And she's like, I can't hurt anyone.
Join the club, sister.
I get you. I think the question of this story is not, are you the a-hole for, calling out your sister? I think the moral of the story, or not the moral of the story, I think what you should do is go no contact with your sister.
Yeah.
Because if you're this worried about her reaction, and
There's
also you have this
something
past,
there.
and you have
Yeah.
all this history with her, not good.
Tricky.
Tricky. But that is the end of that story. You want to read the next one?
Sure.
All right, let's get into it. Here you
Thanks.
go. And also, this comes from one of our fans. This comes from r/okstorytime subreddit, specifically from one of you guys. I don't know if you're here, but let's get into it.
I kicked my sister out because she ruined my house, but she says it should be her house. What? All right, interesting.
You can't just call dibs on it.
All right. So, I'm 27 male. My sister is 30. Our great-grandfather helped build our town. He literally swung that hammer that built Town Hall and most of downtown and built our family home in what is now a booming suburban area. Our grandfather and dad were also in the construction industry. So am I, technically.
Okay, OP.
Okay.
Humble brag. You just built the whole town.
By the way, this comes from You Routine Tourist 9636 on the ROK Storytime subreddit.
And if you're here, sound off.
So, hello, human, if you are present. So, my mom got sick when I was 14 and died a year later. By that point, my sister had already moved in with her boyfriend. My dad and I built a 2-bedroom apartment above the garage and lived in it while we fixed everything that was wrong with our home, updating plumbing, electrical, a new roof, and making it modern without losing the charm. We put in solar panels and a new electric well pump and updated the septic system too. My father sold his company and used my mother's life insurance policy, so the house was amazing. When I turned 18, my father put me on the title, but really we had made the house so awesome for my sister. When my dad got sick, he said I was in charge of the house, which had no mortgage or liens, so I stayed in the apartment. He also convinced my sister to move in, which I supported because her and her boyfriend were struggling financially. What a kind brother.
Yeah.
She was living in an unfinished garage with her 2 kids and boyfriend, and I never wanted to make my sister homeless.
They're really nice. So OP and the dad fixed this house up. OP's dad said the house is going to be in your name, but they both agreed to let the sister live there, I guess. Yeah. Which is really, really nice.
Also seems like a lot going on in this family. Like,
yeah. They lost their mom and then the dad is sick. Yeah. That's a lot to deal with.
5 years ago, I met and married my wife. I moved out of the garage apartment and my wife and I got a nice little home. By then, I was a supervisor at a small construction firm, but my sister often called my wife about problems at the house, saying I needed to take my name off the title so she could handle repairs.
I don't think you do. Unless she's saying, because we don't know yet if she's on the title. It seems like it was just OP, in which case, is she just saying that she wants the house now?
sounds like, mate.
To be fair, the home is paid off as the solar array provides enough power to run the whole house all year.
Such a nice situation that the sister is in. She's like in a house that she's not paying for with solar and everything.
Yeah. So the home is paid off because of the solar array.
Yeah.
Love that.
Amazing.
All right, so she kept calling me about different things though. Once about the county wanting to put a meter on the house and how they were threatening to arrest her for stealing utilities. Another time, she said a plumber told her the plumbing needed upgrades in the tune of $6,000 and she couldn't get a loan because my name was also on the title. But my name is the only one on the title since my dad died.
Okay, so she keeps making it sound like she's, got a claim to this house.
Yeah.
But it's OP's house. And she's making up all of these things about she's like, I need all of this money and you have to it seems like she's trying to put pressure on OP to give her claim to the house.
Okay, interesting. I asked for the plumber report, then hired a few of the guys from the company to verify. They came back and said exactly what I thought. The plumber my sister had hired was wrong, and the work my dad and I did was perfect. Same with electrical and roof.
I think that what she's trying to do is
just trying to get the name on the title. She's just making up stuff. Like there's nothing wrong with this house.
Yeah, which is kind of ridiculous. She's living in the house for free. I don't know why she's making up all of these things.
Interesting. I was also concerned the developer was trying to pressure my sister to sell, as they had tried with me and even with my dad. The house is on 4 acres and spans the end of 2 streets, all built within the last 10 years. They were trying to force us to join their HOA or sell so they can build 4 homes. This is the developer. Yeah. They want them to sell and build more houses on this property.
Yeah, and so OP is kind of thinking their sister's trying to get the house in her name so she can maybe sell it to these developers for money. Because right now she's not getting anything out of the house because it's in OP's name.
And apparently 1 acre is a football field. So
excellent. So that's a lot of football fields.
That's 4 football fields.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Whoa.
I would want my name on that title too.
And she's living there for free.
All right. My wife was getting irritated that my sister had asked me for permission to repair the house and said I should just sign it over to her. I said I wasn't going to let my sister take out a loan or ruin my family's hard work.
Yeah, I think it would be kind of ridiculous to sign over a 4-acre house ever.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Ever.
That's a lot. 2 years ago, I was planning on moving in because my wife found out I'm pansexual and finds me disgusting.
Oh my God.
What? That was
such a switch up.
That was such a switch up. OP.
Your wife sucks.
What happened?
I hope it's your ex-wife.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Ugh.
Because I've been with men and trans people before we got married. But I found out that my sister had rented the garage apartment to a friend. She explained her friend was leaving an abusive husband and I agreed she could stay. So instead, I rented a little apartment by my job HQ and continued to field continuous repair issues from my sister that were bogus.
Okay. So I think what just happened here is that OP separated from their partner and then was going to move back into their old apartment at their house that they own. The sister had someone living there, even though she does not own this house and should not be able to legally give out, any of the space to people.
This is weird.
Yeah.
Because not even the apartment?
No.
Is this like a monopoly?
What do you mean?
Like the sister's just trying to take over everything and kick him out?
Yeah, it seems like, she is living in the house, or at least part of the house, and then gave the garage apartment to someone else. I'm wondering if she's renting it, because it seems like right now she's just
probably
said,
making money.
Yeah, I think that she might be making money off her house.
What a sneaky sister.
She's living there for free and is literally trying to make money off that's my conspiracy theory. I think she's saying that, I'm just letting her have a place to stay because she's leaving an abusive situation. I think she's renting out the house.
My conspiracy is that she's actually a secret murderer and that's where she's keeping her bodies. And so that's why she doesn't want anybody to go to that apartment.
That's such an amazing conspiracy theory.
Yeah, because clearly she, you can't rely on her.
You can't trust her.
All right, let's see what the story says.
Yeah.
6 months ago, my new apartment manager found out that I am, in quotes, bi and tried to ask me out. I declined and went about my life. Then I got hurt at work. Pretty bad. I will never be the same. I'm in a lot of pain and will never be able to climb a ladder again. OP! Give this guy a break.
Please.
I've had several procedures to try and help the pain. One night, after a medical procedure, I woke up to my apartment manager trying to attack me, so I immediately moved out and went back to the house and to the little garage apartment I owned and told my sister I wasn't asking for the big house, but I needed the apartment and she needed to move her friend out.
Oh my God. Sorry, that was a lot.
That was a lot.
I'm so sorry, OP, because that's a lot to go through. But also, the only answer that your sister should be giving you is absolutely, this is your house that you own, and I shouldn't be giving out any space to other people.
And this is like a time of need and kind of an emergency, honestly.
It is an emergency. OP does not have a place to live and literally owns a 4-acre house. That would be ridiculous. I think it is a little bit ridiculous that OP is expected to like rent an apartment, stay in a hotel while owning a house.
Yeah, this is weird. All right. But when I got there, the friend she'd told me about wasn't there. Instead, it was some college kids that my sister had been renting the apartment out to. She was making that money. She's renting it out.
That's not even legal. She legally can't rent out the apartment because she's not on the title.
Yikes. She'd also done updates in the house and rented some of those rooms out as apartments as well, which is why she wanted to put meters on the house. She was making over $3,000 a month on my family home, and I was still paying the taxes and trash. I told my sister she had no right to do anything like what she did, and if she didn't remove the unlawful tenants, I would take her to court as well. And that's now what I'm forced to do. I told her she and her kids could continue to live in the apartment above the garage for $75 a month, a steal.
Steal!
But she said she would rather be homeless.
What? What?
This woman who is in a 4-acre house said she would rather be thrown to the streets.
Oh my God. Well, she would be in the apartment or the garage, which is, it sounds
No, but
like...
she said she doesn't even want to go to the apartment garage. He's offering the apartment garage for $75, and she's saying, I would rather be homeless.
This is literally ridiculous.
She cray.
She's crazy.
This red flag. What's with these sisters?
I don't know. Oh my God. Oh my God.
All right. My ex-boyfriend, who I'm still friends with, says I'm being an ASS and I should just evict the college students and stay in the apartment. But after what she did to our family home, all the work my dad and I put in, she's not going to destroy it. I decided to leave to 3rd floor apartments as they were because I may need a nurse at times to help when I have surgeries, as my neck and back are in pretty bad shape.
It sucks that OP has to deal with all of this while also going through like a, injury and trying to get better. Yeah. Kick your sister out. Kick your sister out.
If my sister doesn't want the others for herself, I know a lot of guys in construction end up living in their trucks, so having company housing is a great move. The college kids were moved from the 3 apartments last week. I did have some money to help them find a better place in town. I'm not trying to be heartless here.
OP gave literally every other solution and the sister doesn't want to take it. So at this point, you can't do anything else.
Like, what is she doing with the $3,000 that she made?
Did she make $3,000 total or $3,000
per
like
month?
Monthly?
Yeah,
exactly.
Per month.
And she's been living there for a while, so this is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think that you've tried your best with your sister. At this point, she's a lost cause.
The eviction process for my sister is more complicated, but it was ruled she would have to leave. But because I just let her live there for free and it's been years, they're giving her more time. While I was still living in the hotel, my sister's boyfriend came over and asked me to reconsider because she doesn't work and he doesn't make enough money to provide the kind of life his kids are used to in my family's home.
Well, then maybe they shouldn't have been freaking like using OP.
Yeah.
To get money.
And why can't they use one of the apartments? I mean, it seems like he offered the apartment.
He offered $75.
I think he might have offered the one like above it or something.
Yes.
The garage
apartment. But that was already like, they've already established that's where he used to live and it's like nice and stuff. And also like the ex or the boyfriend saying, oh, we can't afford this. So you can't afford $75 a month?
Yeah.
That is the cheapest place you will find.
They can't afford something new, like finding their own place.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, the offer is already there for them to take the $75, so I don't know why they're making.
I mean, yeah, and OP even said, I offered one for $75 a month, which I think is extremely reasonable considering they were charging $1,500 for the one above the garage. He said they could not afford that because the rental income was really how they were making any money. So they can't afford $75?
Get a job.
I then offered him a position in the company I'm building to help pay, and I was going to see if my sister wanted to manage a daycare for my employees also, as my workman's comp claim would be enough to build a small daycare center on the property, as well as fix the damages they had caused in the home, plus all of my startup costs. This guy is doing everything,
Literally
for this
everything
family.
you could possibly think of, OP is providing.
He's like
and
creating
trying.
a company,
Yeah.
creating the jobs
He's
that
like,
they
I will
need.
give you a job. I will charge you $75 for rent. And they still are saying, they're still being ridiculous about this.
But with all of that, he still refused, saying I was being unfair and that the house was meant to go to my sister. And she shouldn't have to pay to live in her own home or be forced to move to the apartment and pay for it. They have 3 kids. The home was 5 bedrooms with a fully finished basement and attic and my mom's sewing space. The attic was split into 2 tiny apartments. The garage fits 3 cars and there's the 2-bedroom apartment above it. There's also a hot tub and pool, both of which my sister had damaged.
I understand saying like 2 bedrooms is pretty small for 3 kids. However, they kind of caused this. They took advantage of OP, and OP is charging $75.
I'd take that in a heartbeat.
I would absolutely. If you can't afford that, you're not going to be able to afford anything close to like.
That's more than groceries.
Yeah, I'm like, you're probably going to be able to afford like $1,500 for a studio or something, depending on where you live. Like maybe $400 if you live in a cheap place, but like.
At the end of the day, I'm a little upset I was paying those bills while my sister was making money off the home. And I'm very upset I was lied to about the garage apartment, which was always intended to be mine. And I'm even more upset about the damage to the property. I will not let my sister just ruin what my family has built. The $70 a month is so she is an actual tenant and I will have rights. I'd let her keep living in the house, but the damage is so bad and I can't physically do it myself right now. So Reddit, what should I do? Am I being an a-hole?
You're being an angel, and your sister's and her family is taking advantage of you. And I think at this point, there's nothing else that you can do.
You've done everything.
You've done everything you could possibly think of.
Yeah, like you're an angel, actually. You're not an a-hole at all.
No,
What's the opposite of an a-hole?
an angel.
Like a mouth hole? Like the opposite direction?
Yes, correct. That's the Reddit lingo.
All right.
Kick her out.
Yep.
Yeah. You are going through too much right now in your life to have to also put her whole deal, stack that whole thing on top of your problems. Because, you don't deserve that.
Yeah. Take care of your health and take care of your mental health.
Yeah. Keep your peace. And if she's disturbing it, kick her out. She's gone. Because you're giving her the sweetest deal. And if she doesn't want to take a bite out of that, then she's gone. But that is the end of that story, correct?
It is.